Oh, you guys are back to listen to little old me. Fucking disgusting piece of trash. Let's go ahead and jump right into the video. Where we last left off, the team had just acquired their first mission, and after a couple of hiccups, they have arrived at their destination in an asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. Upon arriving, they formed a plan that was instantly forgotten at the sound of approaching cultists. After a short scuffle that was quickly ended by a gas explosion triggered by the guy's shot glove, they made their way further in the compound, seemingly devoid of other cultists. It hacks into a door at the end of a long hallway, and they come face to face with the entire congregation in the middle of a sermon. And that's where this episode will pick up. Without hesitating for a single second, the kid slams closed the already hacked door. He then goes to try and overclock the door system so that he can jam the door closed, so it'd be a hell of a lot harder to open since it's already reinforced. Before he can do that though, Dr. Pierre comes with an idea to open the door really fast so he can throw in a grenade since they can't really go anywhere. It looked like it was a one-way room, and then seal it so it blows up and seals the explosion inside with them. With that plan in mind, we both roll. And we both roll uncharacteristically high for once. One smooth motion, I quickly open the door, he lobs in the grenade, and I slam it closed so hard that it crumples some of the metal around the door as you hear the door closing mechanism seize up. A couple seconds pass as we hear a muffled explosion goes off and the door actually bulges outward slightly from the explosion inside. Loud bangs then start coming from inside, a lot stronger than you would imagine as it's actively denting the reinforced metal door. So we start brainstorming again. The way the door was denting, it wasn't going to last much longer. So we came up with the plan. The heavier hitters were hide on the exterior of the door and in different portions of the hallway while the kid runs down the hallway, aggroing their attention, and they would get like a surprise attack thing. However, you know our track record with plans. Door burst open, ripped from its housing as a Drider-like morph emerges from the door, and I take off down the hallway. However, once again, our DM super critted, and they noticed our trap. So instead of them following the kid down the hallway like we originally planned, they instantly start fighting the people directly outside the door. This includes the Drider and about 4 other cultists who actually survived the explosion. The kid doesn't know this and actually gets nearly all the way down the hallway before he notices that nobody's chasing him. So instead of making his way all the way back down the hallway to join in on the fray, he decides to just start looking through the rooms down the hallway. The lock on the first door on his left goes through, and the room is filled with boxes here and there, and there's 2 statues that are on the wall that just look completely out of place. And the second that he takes a step into the room, both of these statues turn directly at him and spray him with this weird liquid. As he stumbled backwards out of the room, the liquid that was sprayed across his body starts to rapidly harden and seems to be some form of quick cement. Luckily, I passed my save not to be completely petrified in the hallway by myself. I did lose a couple of turns of action, however. Back with the rest of the group, they are fighting the cultists tooth and nail. They're taking out cultists left and right. There's a couple of cultists that are getting some really decent hit in, especially the Drider, because she is hella strong. Fight ends up spilling over into a secondary room down where they're fighting at as they try to run because one of them actually got hit super hard. As the cultists and the Drider enter the room, Dr. Pierre uses one of his various pieces of equipment that administers a chemical known as slip all across the entire floor. Slip works exactly like the grease spell. Oddly enough, the team does fairly well, not slipping from slip, and end up taking out a couple of the cultists, the guy literally bludgeoning them to death as they fall. Pierre ended up getting the last hit on the Drider just as reinforcements had arrived, and they stopped dead in their tracks as she fell. With what seemed to be their leader now fallen, they seemed to give up the will to fight us, and we went about our work. Momo quickly jumped into work, dropping on top of the now dead Camille, trying to glean whatever information she can from her dying brain before it completely dies. She scans her brain and nearly fails the roll, so she doesn't glean too much information off of her. The little information that we do acquire, she seems to be the direct connection to whatever entity this cult serves. And we also find out the Drider's name is Camille. Back down at the other end of the hallway, I finally escape my stony prison, and after almost being sealed up in concrete, I decide to stop looking at random doors down this hallway and try and find my way into the vault that's guarded by the turret. Now, my original idea was to climb up onto the ceiling and try and hack the turrets by jacking in them directly, but being a little bit more careful, I was like, if they swirl around and shoot me, I'm going to die. So instead, I decided to go look for the direct control room so I can just kind of shut the turrets down and easily get into the vault. Wander back the way we came from where we entered the compound to begin with and continue down the hallway, take another right down the hallway, and I come face to face with 4 other doors to pick from. I end up deciding on the first one to my right this time as I get to work on the lock. Back with the rest of the team, Dr. Pierre makes his way into where they were having their sermon, grabs the book off of the altar, and starts making his way out. The rest of the team is coming out of the room where all the slip was and the final fight went down. The reinforcements still collapsed on the floor, crying and looking at their now dead leader. Momo exits the room wading through them as one of them grabs onto her leg, screaming, "Please bring her back, we need her, she is our light, our connection to our deity." Momo responds something along the lines, she's like dead. There's no bringing her back, man. At hearing this, the cultist starts to rapidly mutate and turn into this blobby form, as the rest follow suit. They all end up morphing into this giant groaning mass that is rapidly expanding as the team obviously runs away in terror. Back on my side of the compound, I finally get the door open, and as the door slides open, there is a 12-foot tall, very muscular woman staring down at me grinning. And that's about where that session ended. Next episode will be up on Friday. And that's about it for the video. If you liked the video, like, comment, share it with little Timmy down the street. I don't know. Bye.